Stay tuned for Truckers Life Radio, coming up next on tncradio.live.
You're listening to tncradio.live. Remember to tune into the Truckers Network radio show with Shelley Johnson, weekdays at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Hello and welcome to tncradio.live. This is Truckers Life Radio. And now here's your host, Ron Frazier.
Welcome to tncradio.live. I am your host tonight, Craig Mart, and Truckers Life Radio is on tncradio.live. And we are dedicated to helping the professional driver on life's highway with this program and talking about things that are very relevant to you. And I'm excited because our guest today is Jason Smith. And Jason Smith has been involved in the trucking community for years. And there is a connection to him with an organization called Truckers for Hope. And it involves a situation within his family that he's going to get into. But it's developed into something that's pretty big. And so we're excited to talk about this with Jason today. So, Jason, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing that we need to know is, who are you? A little bit about your family and who are you? And then have that morph into how did you get involved in trucking as a whole?
Well, I guess I can start off with, obviously you all know my name's Jason. My whole family has drove truck. We've owned our own trucks. We've been there, long story short, years ago, my family, I think they went bankrupt or whatever. Then I was born into the whole trucking industry. I've been driving truck for approximately probably 19, 20 years now, somewhere right in there. Okay. I pretty much have hauled cattle my whole life. So I truck cattle here in the state of Pennsylvania. I guess I've been driving truck for that long. My wife and I got together. She didn't know a whole lot with the trucking industry when we kind of met. So I've kind of introduced her to this type of lifestyle. When we were a little younger, we had a son. She became pregnant. We've had a son. His name was Hayes at the time. Since now we've had two sons, but our oldest would be Hayes. Hayes was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis. With cystic fibrosis, we've done a lot of, fundraising and different things. So we looked into what I could do with our, with my lifestyle and what I did with occupation, to help us to raise money for this cystic fibrosis.
Okay. Yeah. So this has been, a family journey for sure. And, bringing your wife into it, did she adjust pretty well, or is she still a little deer in the headlights with it all? Or is she pretty flexible?
She, with the whole trucking thing, she's getting it now. She asks questions quite often, different things on how things work or how this should run or whatever. As far, what we do with the fundraising, she's always been there. She's always supported every idea that I've come into. We've had other fundraising things that we've done. And then what we do with this event that I guess why you're interviewing me, she has taken on a whole new perspective on how things work with this.
Yeah, I'll bet. That's pretty cool. So how many trucks do you have, or do you have people working for you? And I understand, which we'll get to later, the show part that's coming up here real soon. But do you have show trucks? Where are you at with what you're doing right now with, work trucks? Do you have employees and show trucks and things like that?
Well, I actually work for another guy. We're in the process of possibly turning up the ideas of me buying the truck off of him. I have a pretty good deal going. I'm home, working for this guy. I'm home late Thursday night, and I don't usually leave out until Monday morning. Nice. So do I want to take that plunge? For 15 years, I probably thought about buying my own truck, and I've almost done it a couple times. And, it's a hard thing to swallow. You drive for somebody else, but I know the deal. I've been in it long enough. I'd say I'm not your typical company driver, which, I make a lot of the decisions, with where I work with certain things with the truck, obviously the guy that owns the truck has the last say, the final say or whatever, but I run things by him quite often. But him and we've been close for a long time now. So I don't have any employees that work for me. Once I go this route with it, it would be just me and my wife probably. I've often thought about buying some of the, another truck just to have a show truck. I guess that would be my dream job, is just to have a show truck and just drive it around all these shows and not have to worry about money. But
yeah,
unfortunately I don't win the lottery.
Right. Yeah. Then you wake up to reality of no, that's cool to see and understand. Cause audience is everywhere from, owner operators to those who are driving a fleet, and those who are just interested in the trucking industry in general and supporting, what we do here with our chaplaincy ministry and everything. So, thanks for sharing that kind of stuff. So how many years have you been driving, and are you basically exclusive to Pennsylvania, or do you go outside of Pennsylvania?
I think if I sit down here and think about it, I might somewhere around 19 or 20 years.
Great, thank you.
I have driving, and somewhere right in there. I don't stick strictly to Pennsylvania. I run a lot of I guess you would say the Northeast, but I'm home or within so many hours with what I do now. I'm within so many hours of the house. So I may turn around from PA and run to Michigan and load that and bring it back the next, for the morning delivery. And then I'm back out somewhere else. I run a lot of Ohio, New York, Michigan, Maryland, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. I stay every once in a while. I'll do some Kentucky loads, something like that. I stay pretty close to home.
Okay,
you would say.
Yeah, again, nice. Yeah, that's a luxury that I know more and more people would like to be able to have. So that's cool to hear. So without getting too much into Hayes and with the the truck show and everything, what about just the boys in general? How do they fit into your work and into the family? Share us a little bit about your boys.
Hayes is 11. He's the oldest of our two. Miles is 4. The boys are they're both all about wanting to get into the trucks and stuff like that. In fact, Hayes just asked me the other day about riding along with me again. So they're much involved with my life and with the show that we do. I try to include Hayes with some of the decisions that I make with the show. What does he want? How does he want to run things? Or whether it comes down to hats, he may want a certain logo on a hat or something. And I try to interact him with that as well. Obviously they're usually home when I'm out on the road. My wife's always yelling at me because I'm never home, but I think that's everybody in life in general. I don't do enough for them, when I'm out on the road or whatever, but he stays very involved with me, but I try to stay involved with him. Like right now he's into playing soccer. So we hit the soccer games on Sunday. This past weekend, we took Hayes to his very first Penn State game when he was 4. So this year, actually turned out that when Miles was 4, which would be this year, we took him to his very first Penn State game. So the boys are big into some sports and things like that. But this show that we run, it interacts a lot with 365 days of my life, and trying to juggle the boys and their activities is something I don't do enough of. I don't spend enough time with family and whether you take them out fishing, like Hayes loves fishing, loves the outdoor things and the kids things. It's just hard to juggle it, but trying to stay involved with them and their lives, not so much as maybe them and with my life, but keep them involved with what I do. Yeah,
no, I appreciate hearing that. And the little bit that I've gotten to know you and, been on the website and heard some information about you before we were doing this interview here. Now you could just sense from you, family is so important, but this cause that you're all about that we're going to get to, that's not something that you can just slap together in a couple of days and do it. You and your wife just plan something. This is a huge thing. And that's got to be important, and you want to do that well. So, I mean, you're voicing what I have just learned more and more is the attention that's there for somebody who loves driving, loves the trucks, loves to be able to get out, but knowing, man, I got to work in a different way to stay connected to my wife, to my kids, and their stuff. So the way that you voice that sure does reflect the emotion behind the whole thing, because it's all important, and you can't do it all. So how do you balance what is the most important? So that way, man, you leave a legacy of something that's really, really valuable. So thank you for sharing that piece. We're going to take a break here right now and then get into a little bit more about the cause and the main reason that Jason's on here today. So we'll be right back after this break.
This blog on tncradio.live is brought to you by the Truckers Network at app.thetruckersnetwork.net. Health tips every trucker should follow. When you live your life on the road, it can be very easy to fall into an unhealthy lifestyle. This is the case when it comes to most truck drivers. Being on the road for weeks at a time can take a toll on one's health. The lack of exercise, sleep, and access to a balanced diet are all common health hazards for truckers. Taking care of your health is not only important for your well-being, it's also important for a successful career in the trucking industry. Here's some tips every trucker should take into consideration while traveling on the road. Eat healthy. Although it may be more convenient to eat fast food or grab something quick at a gas station, try stopping at a grocery store and picking up some fresh fruits and veggies. Some other healthy options are protein bars, dried fruits, nuts, and make sure to drink plenty of water. If your truck has an auxiliary power unit or power inverter, look into getting a portable stove, crock pot, or microwave. This will make eating healthy much easier, and it also helps save money. Be sure to be aware of your company's policies for cooking in your truck. Exercise. Finding the time to exercise can be quite a challenge when you spend 10 or more hours a day driving. Finding a little time to exercise each day can improve your physical and mental health. Walking, running, pack some running shoes and take a 30-minute walk or jog each day. It's an inexpensive option for exercising. Work out in your cabin. Setting up a workout routine to do in your cabin is a convenient way to keep yourself healthy. You don't even need workout equipment. Find time to implement these workouts in your daily routine. Push-ups, planks, sit-ups, tricep dips, stretching. Stretching can help avoid back pain. It's important for truckers to make stretching a part of their daily workout routine. Back bends, front bends, side bends, neck stretch. Sleep. Getting a good night's sleep is essential for good health. Driving can become dangerous if you're not getting an appropriate amount of sleep. Studies say that most healthy adults need between 7 and 9 hours of sleep each night. Follow these steps to a happier and healthier sleep lifestyle. Stick to a sleep schedule. Sleep on a comfortable mattress and pillow. Avoid alcohol and caffeine close to bedtime. Turn off all electronics before bed. Mind. Taking care of your mental health should be as important to your physical health. Truck driving can be boring. Keep your mind alert and fresh by listening to music while driving or tncradio.live. This blog on tncradio.live was brought to you by the Truckers Network at app.thetruckersnetwork.net.
Industry movement Trucking Moves America Forward is telling the story of the industry. Our safety champions, the women of trucking, independent contractors, the next generation of truckers, and more. Help us promote the best of our industry. Share your story and what you love about trucking. Share images of a moment you're proud of. And join us on social media. Learn more at truckingmovesamerica.com.
Join Tom Kelly and the rest of the team each day on the morning grind. Then stay tuned for an encore presentation of last night's Landline Now. Weekdays on tncradio.live.
And welcome back to Truckers Life Radio on tncradio.live. I'm continuing on with our guest, Jason Smith. And so, Jason, one of the big reasons that we're interviewing you today is because of this rally that's coming up, but there's a reason why this rally is happening. So your son Hayes, who, as I've looked up a little bit on him and watched the videos on the website, which is just fantastic, you could tell that family is important to him. He's a big brother. You can't get away from the soccer, the outdoors, and one of the pictures has him with a shirt on that says, "I'm a fighter." And I'm personally connected to a family that their 2 boys out of their 3 were born with cystic fibrosis, and just how that changes everything. So can you tell us a little bit about Hayes, and the whole journey that you guys have been on, and how this turned into this event coming up, this Truckers for Hope?
Yeah, absolutely. When Hayes was born, they test automatically for different things, and cystic fibrosis is one of those things. When I was out on the road when he was actually diagnosed with it, and my wife was just a mess, the first thing you don't want to do when you learn something is to Google it. And when you Google something, you're not going to certain outcomes of that search, and that was her. She was a mess. I was on the road, whether I needed to come home, we had to, we had a lot of things to figure out. But we got through it, with everything. You work together, you get through things, and you learn to, I would say you learn to deal with, the hand everybody's, the deck of cards that everybody's dealt, the hand, you learn to deal with that. And we have, we've always figured we could do more. What was there that we could keep doing more to help raise money for this awareness and things that we do? So we started with our local walks, with our local chapter with cystic fibrosis, and we came up with a walk. We ran the walk for, I don't know, quite a few years. My wife was in charge of it. There's always been more. We've done local fundraising things, like the area taverns, and we have a local restaurant actually this Wednesday, donating funds to CF. And I kept trying to figure out what I could do. And I decided that, what if we do a truck show? It's something that has something to do with my occupation and whatever. So I reached out to a few close friends of mine at the time. They kind of helped me out with this, and we organized it. We came up with a name called Truckers for Hope Jamboree. That had to have been changed. I didn't realize there was some trademark issues there or whatever. So Iowa 80 wasn't real happy with me, but they agreed that we took the Jamboree off of it, and it has progressed from there. So it's Truckers for Hope. And what it is it's a nonprofit organization ran by Hope for Hayes. Hope for Hayes, obviously is the nonprofit organization. We just run this event. This will be the 6th year this year running this event, and everything that we make off of this event goes right to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation.
Wow. That's pretty cool. And yeah, I'm sure there's a lot that you don't know until you get started on that, because as I've, watched the videos that you have on the website for the, Truckers for Hope event coming up, I'm like, this is not just you getting a couple people together in the corner parking lot at a Walmart or something. I mean, this is massive. And I want you to talk a little bit more about that. But before you get to that, can you explain a little bit about what has been, since Hayes has been little, the whole journey of treatments with CF? Because like I said, this family that I was connected to, I was over there often enough, and with the vests on and the breathing tubes and the test after test with the doctors. I mean, this is not a minor inconvenience. Your life changes. So can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah. When Hayes was born with it, you're little, he was little. You didn't know a whole lot on this. All you know is the doctors are doing tests and they're telling you things to do, and you're trying to do everything you can do and not lose it, like break down in different things. And when Hayes was little, we used to have to put salt in his bottle of milk. People thought it was odd. We'd go to a restaurant, we're putting salt in his bottle, and then you'd have to put these little, what they're called as enzymes, and you rip the capsule apart to get them down in his mouth, and then he'd start swallowing it with his milk. With cystic fibrosis, your body doesn't retain the salt that you sweat. And that is why we had to put the salt in the milk, to give him back the salt that he was losing. As of now, now we're just, to keep up with that, we're giving him more Gatorade, more, he eats a lot more snacks with the salt, the chips and stuff like that. And it's ironic because Hayes, he's not into a lot of the junk food, that he actually needs to have.
Okay.
He is a kid that loves vegetables and fruits and different things. So it's hard to keep that up. And you stress, when he was little, it was always the feeding tubes,
Yep.
that you're not getting enough weight on your son. And it's hard because you're doing everything you can. And there's things that he doesn't like. And I remember a particular thing is we would use this stuff called DuoCal. You can't taste it. You'd put it in his food and it's like a supplement. It helps add weight, like a muscle builder and things like that. And there was just things that you couldn't taste it, but he could taste it and he just wouldn't eat it. And it's hard to get him to, you're on your kid, you need to eat. And, he eats so much sometimes that he may throw up, and it's, you wondering to yourself, are you causing him to throw up because he's, but there's a lot of stress on that. He does treatments twice a day. He does a vest treatment and a breathing treatment. Now that the vest, they're 20 minutes each time. So you're looking at 40 minutes a day, with treatments. And then on top of that, he does enzymes every time he eats. He has certain pills that he takes in the morning and certain pills that he takes in the evening. There's a lot of medical advances now that you didn't have when he was younger, that are coming up with the help of raising money and things like that. So we're always looking ahead at things, but he does take a lot of medications and he does do a lot of treatments. If he's sick, he takes extra treatments. His mother and I are pretty much on top of that, and with me being gone in the truck, I depend on her to do that. So it's a lot of stress on her, I'm sure. With your normal everyday life with raising two boys and soccer, and my wife's a full-time teacher, and so there's a lot of stress on many other levels there, not just with Hayes, but there's a lot there involved that people don't see behind the closed doors.
Right, absolutely. And can you share a little bit about the vests you refer to, which I'm familiar with, but for maybe people who don't know, what does that vest do?
Okay. The vest is, I guess the best thing I can come up with is it's a vest with a bladder in it, like you drink out, like you would drink, but except this vest has like a little mini air compressor. And what the vest does, you hook the tubes up to the vest and that bladder fills up with air, but the compressor shakes the vest.
Yep.
So it'll shake the vest to break down the mucus and things like that in his lungs. So his body can what am I looking for? Digest. His body can digest the mucus and things like that through his lungs and knock that off, because basically what cystic fibrosis is he's missing a gene that we have. If I guess the best way to say that for me to get people to understand that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's, for people who might be observing that for the first time, I mean, it could be a little weird to be seeing that, where a child is there kind of, shaking, caused by this vest piece and the air pressure and all the kind of stuff. But I mean, it's a life-changing thing. And I'm sure for you and your wife, in addition to just normal stuff, you add this. If your wife and you probably have been through plenty of ups and downs with it, but how do you find time or make the time to stay connected as, a married couple? Like, how does that fit into all this? Because you're adding a layer of things that a lot of people don't. So let me explain that real quick.
It's funny you asked that. My wife and I have been having this conversation for the last couple of weeks. My wife has been bugging me for time, to go out, just her and I time. And I haven't done that as much as I should. So I think in the near future, after this event is over, we're going to try to look into that. Just trying to, she's having a hard time drawing me in to do that family time. We go camping a lot. We're big on the outdoors and different things, and the ball games and stuff like that. So trying to find time away from my phone or the computer or the truck show or whatever in general, it's hard, but I need to do that, as a husband more than I do now. So if I can get us involved in more camping trips or things in the summer when they're off, or just the little things, like in the wintertime, we try to take the boys and go do something with just them to get out of the house. You're all cooped up for the winter, but It's hard. And I think that I'm even having a hard time doing that as a dad, as a father, as a husband,
Yeah.
I guess I'm not as perfect as what everybody thinks they are, but you don't realize that until your wife or something says, "Hey, this isn't working. We need to do something."
Yeah. Well, hopefully she's going to be hearing this eventually. So she'd be able to remind you that, hey, remember when you were being interviewed and you said you were going to make time? No, I feel the tension with you, but yeah, there's no doubt that's got to be, so important. We're at the point of taking another break. And when we get back, we're going to talk more about this Truckers for Hope rally and what it's all about and get into details because it just looks awesome. So we'll be right back after this.
Trucking Moves America Forward, or TMAF, is boosting the image of the industry by telling the story of trucking. And your story can be part of it. Upload a photo. Tell us what you love about trucking. Or send us a story about a good deed or charitable act in trucking. Be sure to follow us on social media and contact us through truckingmovesamerica.com. That's truckingmovesamerica.com.
Ride the Southern Route with Shannon Courier Tuesdays at 7, 6 Central on TNCRadio.live.
Ready for the power of positive and something that will put you back to a time you wanted to last forever? Music is the ultimate time machine. What was your favorite time? Do you want to go back there? LTD Radio features the songs of the 70s, 80s, and 90s that will transport you to a happier time. It'll make you smile and brighten your day. We could all use that about now. TNCRadio.live is proud to carry the great music of LTD Radio.
That's right. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but I'm doing good. I went in for a full physical yesterday, requirement by my insurance company, and the doctor was like, "Wow, you're doing good." So I was glad. I was very happy to hear that.
Well, good. Yeah.
Yeah. Lost some weight. Blood looked good. So yeah, all good.
Yeah, fantastic. I also had a doctor appointment yesterday and went in, and it was one of those appointments. Bend over and cough and all that kind of worst dentist ever, I'm telling you. Jamie, how are we looking out there on traffic? I think you had some updates for us while we were on break this week.
For the latest in traffic, weather, and information, catch the Morning Grind weekdays on TNCRadio.live.
Reverse Gears moved to Thursdays at 8, 7 Central on the Travel Network channel, TNCRadio.live. You're invited to ride through the stories of and music that made the memory makers we call the soundtrack of life at our new time, 8, 7 Central, Thursdays on TNCRadio.live.
And welcome back. I'm continuing the conversation with Jason Smith, and we're going to get into this truck show that has, morphed into something really, really big. Typically, when you think of a truck show, a lot of things can come into your mind, but this has really developed into something really cool. Of course, we've already learned that it's developed out of wanting to raise funds for cystic fibrosis and not just for the Smith family, which is very admirable of you guys to be thinking about, doing that with different events that you've done. So now is your chance. What does this rally become? Where did it start? What's it like? What's a person going to experience when they would show up at the Truckers for Hope truck show?
Okay. This truck show started 5 years ago. This will be our 6th year running it. My wife she was really unsure about it. Like she has a lot of things, questionable when I don't give her the answers or whatever. I just tell her, relax, it'll work. We'll make it work. Things will work out. But we started with 42 trucks. The first and second year we did this, we've done it. Then we jumped up to, I think, 115. And then the 4th year, I believe, was the year, I call it the COVID year.
Yeah.
We jumped up to 300 plus. Last year we were at 300 plus. This year I'm anticipating more. I look at a few other shows here in Pennsylvania, how they have, grown over the last couple of years or where they're at with attendance. I know Carlisle this year was turning trucks down. I guess the Buck was turning had an outstanding amount of show trucks. The Gear Jammer up in New England is a great show up there. They had 600 or some plus, and they were turning trucks down. So I'm hoping that, that's something to follow suit in for us.
Yeah. How much room do you have?
Our events held at the local fairgrounds, the Clinton County Fairgrounds. It's right off of Interstate 80 at the 178 exit. We're a mile right off the interstate. You can't miss us. We're up on the hill. You get off the exit for 80 and you're off the next exit on 220 and you're right there. It's simple. But it's a fairgrounds. We have a lot of parking there. We have over 100 and I'd say we have over 150, 60 campers that camp for the weekend there. Like I said, we anticipated more than 300 semi trucks. We do a lot of your regular food vendors. We have a lot of merchandise vendors, commercial vendors. We have some recruitment vendors coming now. And we try not to commercialize this. I think you take the fun out of truck shows, in my opinion, once you start commercializing things and judging things. But we make it a family event. We involve, the volunteers that we have I couldn't ask for a better group of volunteers.
Nice.
Just can't find people that help, young people, the older generations of individuals. We try to reach out to our local Boy Scouts. Our local seniors in high school have to do class projects. We get them involved with our Kids Day. Our Saturday is nothing but a big action-packed deal. We do a whole Kids Day thing with free activities. Kids 10 and under are free to get in. Other than that, it's $10 for admission. We have lots and lots of entertainment. We have anywhere from truck pulls to truck drag racing to, on dirt. I'm just trying to think of some nice events. We monster truck rides for the weekend. We do your truck pulls, truck pulls, truck drag racing, your pickup truck pulls. We have a dyno for pickups. We do a pickup show at the same time that we're running the semi show. We do fireworks. This year we brought in bull riding on a Sunday, I think this year. We just try to keep my staff gets so mad at me that every time I turn around, I'm adding something else to it. So there's just so much going on that I know I'm going to miss, like pedal pulls for the kids, cornhole tournaments. And we try to keep everything family friendly and get the whole, I try to add something for everybody at this show, to get the whole family, the moms, the dads, the kids involved with it.
Yeah. Do you know who's live music?
This year, Thursday night, we're going to do something a little bit different this year. I have guys that have asked me for a truck convoy for years. And once you get rolling with the truck show in the middle of the weekend, you can't get trucks in and out. There's too many people that come in. Yeah. Our attendance it gets well overwhelming at times. You're looking at 10 to 15,000 people just to come in and see the trucks. But we're trying something different this year. We're going to try a convoy. The trucks are going to meet at the fairgrounds Thursday night around 6. We're going to leave, and we're going to run them down 220 into our local town at Lock Haven. And we're going to bring them right up through the whole main street, right from Lock Haven into Mill Hall, and then back to the fairgrounds. So we're going to try that new this year. And I have Long Haul Paul willing to just sing a little bit for the drivers and stuff Thursday night. Friday night, we'll have Paul singing again. And then we'll kick off then after Paul with Tony Justice for Friday night. A lot of the drivers seem to know who Tony Justice is. Saturday, I have a local band playing on one of the stages. And then I have Little Texas this year. I don't know if a lot of people remember Little Texas from the late 80s, early 90s band. And then Sunday, we also have a Christian band singing as well, that one of the local Christian bands for the church service.
Cool. Yeah, very cool. Again, when people get on the website and see the video, whoever did that for you did a great job. I mean, it looks top notch, so much fun to see stuff, for the whole family. And unless somebody in the corner of a parking lot somewhere, they may have a Prius, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of fuel efficient vehicles there because of all the things you have going on. I mean, that's just beautiful. That's testosterone. That's just awesome. I just love seeing all that kind of stuff going on. And so it sounds like you're the visionary and your wife is the realist. Is that kind of how this thing works? Yeah. And you meet somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, we try to meet in the middle. Usually it's like me 3/4 and her 1/4, but yeah, we try to. Like I said, I just keep adding things to this show, and they're like, "No, you shouldn't do this or whatever," and I don't even ask. I just do it. I just try to make it fun for everybody. Yeah. It's why we don't judge the show. We don't turn trucks away from it. We just take a donation for registration fee. When the trucks come in, they'll go off to the right side when they, and then we take a donation by them and then we park them. And then we want them to enjoy the show. And we want everybody to have a good time. It's about raising money, but I'm also not there to gouge people's pockets. I try to keep things as reasonable as I can. That a lot of people don't understand how much things like this cost. Last year, I think our show was $109,000 to put it on. Mm-hmm. And trying to raise money at the same time is, you got to take all your expenses out of it. But I refuse not to do it. A lot of people are looking forward to this from year after year. And no matter if we made $1 off of it to raise, I think we would still keep on doing it just because it's fun to do. And it's great to see people enjoy something, not only in our community, but, to see it spread across the United States is something cool as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it does look top notch. And what I appreciate and just in talking with you now, hearing the personal side of this, that a passion for something like this to benefit something else came out of what happened to you guys that you didn't choose, but man, the emotions that come along with it. And so for you to take that and turn that into something that this has become, I couldn't applaud you enough. And I would encourage anybody in the audience who knows about this to for sure check out everything that you possibly can to be as supportive to, Jason and the whole Truckers for Hope show and Hope for Hayes. I mean, it is a really, really wonderful thing. Do you have an idea of how much you've raised over the previous 5 years to give?
With the truck show, I'd really have to get back and look at it. Okay. I know since we started raising money over the last couple of years since Hayes has had this, we've raised over 100,000. Now, wow. I know that ain't much. I look at these other truck shows where they're donating 50,000, 51,000, and some of these other shows, the Mayberry show, I think they raised over 300,000 last year, and they're trying to double it this year. So I'm trying to figure out some of the ways how they're raising money, but in our area with some of the owner operators, they don't. I'm not trying to say they don't give like that, but maybe the monies and the businesses aren't there where we live to get that. And I'm just trying to figure some of that stuff out, so we can keep raising more. But I look at some of the other shows and I don't think some of the other shows have as much going on as we do. So yeah, I just try to make it for the community and enjoy it as well, but raise a little bit of money, and we have a good time while we do it.
Okay, and maybe somebody listening would have some ideas on that you could reach out to Jason. We'll get how to get a hold of him here before we sign off to be a boost for the purpose of what they're doing. But we need to take another break, and we will continue this conversation and learn how people can get involved, how to get a hold of you, and all that good stuff right after this.
You're listening to Truckers Life Radio on tncradio.live.
The best GPS for truck drivers. Although there's several GPS apps, it's better for truck drivers to rely on a system that's specifically geared toward their type of work. Smartphone apps lack the ability to show truckers the roads that are inaccessible to trucks. Buying the right GPS for trucking can be tricky and overwhelming. To save you from tons of research and reading reviews, the Truckers Network has listed the best GPS devices for truck drivers in 2020. Check out their website. Here's a brief list. Garmin Dezel 580 LMTS. The Garmin Dezel 580 LMTS is an easy-to-use GPS with hands-free Bluetooth and built-in Wi-Fi. It features customized truck routing for the size and weight of your truck. It also provides helpful predictive route warnings for dangerous curves, steep grades, bridge heights, weight limits, and more. You can find nearby hotels, restaurants, and parking with their easy brake planning. This GPS is truly made for the long haul. Other features include customized truck routing, built-in directory of truck and trailer services, easy brake planning, and service history log. The TomTom Trucker 620. The TomTom Trucker 620 is a 6-inch GPS navigation device that allows you to get the most out of your driving time. The TomTom Trucker 620 can connect by Wi-Fi, and that lets you update without a computer. It makes calling and messaging easier by providing hands-free calling and smartphone services. It also provides free real-time traffic updates and truck maps throughout North America. Other features include battery lifetime up to an hour. It reads messages out loud from a smartphone. It's compatible with Siri and Google Now. It has customized truck routing. The Garmin Drive Smart 61 LMTS. This Garmin device makes trucking much easier. The Navigator features a collection of smart features, in addition to easy-to-follow instructions and helpful driver alerts. It also provides hands-free calling, live traffic information, and built-in Wi-Fi. With this GPS device, all you have to do is look up and drive. Other features include voice-activated navigation, Bluetooth calling, select live parking, and a rechargeable lithium-ion battery that lasts up to an hour. Hey drivers, did you hear music on TNCRadio.live that you really liked? Or maybe you heard us interview an author of a book you'd like to read or listen to. You can get the books, music, and other products you hear about by going to our website at www.tncradio.live and clicking on the shopping cart.
Join Shelley Johnson and Kathy Tuccaro every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time for Women Road Warriors on your driver navigation station, tncradio.live.
Catch Landline Now every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, along with an encore presentation weekdays at noon, right here on tncradio.live.
Welcome back to Truckers Life Radio.
And welcome back as we continue our conversation with Jason Smith. And we just learned a lot about the Truckers for Hope show and how it's evolved into what it will be this year. And so we're going to end this interview with Jason. You share with us, how can people get involved to sponsor, to maybe volunteer, and any of the information that you can give us along those lines, as well as how to get a hold of you, website, email, social media accounts, advertise. How can people get involved to learn about this and get involved with this wonderful thing you have going on?
Yeah, sure. You can always email us at truckersforhope@gmail.com. And that's the number 4. We use truckers, the number 4, and then hope @gmail. We have a website, truckersforhope.com is the same thing. We use the number 4. Any social media platform except for Twitter I use TikTok. We have, Instagram, Facebook, and we keep everything on Facebook. Whether it's updates on our shows, thanking our sponsors. We do merchant, every day we do a vendor of the day for our merchant vendors or our food vendors that are there. It's just a way that we can keep up with the public and letting them hey, this is what we have going on. We create a lot of different events through Facebook. Each thing that we do, we try to create an event. Like an example, the 4x4 pickup pools is an event. Or the cornhole tournaments are an event. We just keep creating and sharing and trying to make things public as much as we can. We do sponsorships. If you would email us, we'd love to email you a sponsorship package back. You could give us a call at 570-660-7281. That's my personal cell phone number. That's just what I use. I answer it pretty much 24/7.
Can you give us that again?
570-660-7281.
Okay.
Like I said, you could email us at truckersforhope@gmail.com, or even go on our website and fill out the form there. I think that even emails it right to us, our email address as well. And that's www.truckersforhope.com. We do have a lot of other sponsors, and numerous sponsors. I'd like to say thank you to Snavely's Mill is our platinum sponsor, if you will. They've been with us for 6 years now, and they up their ante every year, and we couldn't thank them enough, or any of our other sponsors that we have. Like I said, we're always looking for new ways to raise money, and new sponsors. It takes a lot to put shows on, and at the end of the day, it's all about raising money, for a cause.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if people, live close enough, or they're resonating with this and they want to help out with volunteering, can they do that, or is it too late, or how does that work?
Yeah, they can reach out to me. We are a pretty close-knit volunteer, family and friends, but we're always looking for help. There's always things, you always get one person that wants to help you park trucks, but it's like, I need you for something else to do. Yeah. But, we look for well-rounded people, and anybody that's willing to put some time in and not maybe just learn something new to help us out with something or whatever. We're always, looking for volunteers.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want to force a whole bunch of people on you, because understanding you have to, run the event, but if they would reach out and just, talk with you, that's something that they'd be allowed to do. That's good to know. That's good to know. And what I want to put in a plug, that if you are looking for a cause to sponsor, to donate to, this is one that we are so excited about learning about, and just what it's all about. And again, from our perspective, why we asked Jason to be on this is because of that personal connection, what they experienced that they didn't choose, that they're turning into something that benefits other people, and they're not looking for it to benefit them, and what they've been through as a family, what they're continuing to go through. We want to hold you guys up and I'll end with prayer today, but in support of what you're doing, because this is an amazing thing that you're doing. A lot of it is, a labor of love, and to where, you're sacrificing, as you've said, family time for this until that's done. Something of this magnitude, it takes a crew all year round to make sure that you're set to go with all this stuff. And so anything else that you want to say about, pushing the show, why it's important, if you could give another plea to end your portion of this, what would you say?
I guess the only thing I love for everybody to be able to come and enjoy the show. Like I said, in the long run, we're trying to raise money, and it's to save lives. Years ago, cystic fibrosis, it's a life-threatening disease. And years ago, the life expectancy was at 12 years old. And the more people try to raise money and funds for medical advancements and research and things, and it does help. You're looking from 12 years old up into the people with their 70s now, that are just they're figuring out that they just even have it. So it's actually helping, and it's doing work. And Hayes just started another, in the past year or two, he started a new medication called Trikafta, and it is done amazing things for him. So every little bit does help, whether you see it or whether you don't recognize it right away as for money. You see all the money going into it, but in the long-term effects, that there are advancements in the medical world, and it is helping.
No, that's great to hear. And you're so selfless in this, and the way that your wife partners with you and the stuff that you've described. You're so relatable, and I appreciate that a lot. I think as I shared this family that I've known with, two of the boys, it's a big deal, and I'm going to share this with them so maybe they can, connect with you. But it's just fun to hear about it and to be able to support what you're doing. Because for us, as a ministry to the trucking community, this is what we're all about, to help people like you just personally in your lives and in your family, but also in the cause that you have. And so I want to end with praying for you, praying for your family, praying for this event. If that's okay with you, that's how we'll end everything today.
Absolutely.
All right. Oh, dear God in heaven, we give you praise and thank you that we're able to talk with Jason Smith today and hear his story about him and his wife, and how something that happened to them, to their son, to have cystic fibrosis. And I really pray for advancements to continue in medicine. You are the great physician. You are the great healer, and we submit ourselves to you. But you've used medical doctors to figure out different things that go wrong with the body. And so whether you lift them up as a family, as Jason has described, they need more time together. He's driving. This show is a big deal that influences and impacts so many other people. So I pray for your protection around them, that they would be provided for in love and, financial support. Yes, but that as a family, there would be a bond that can't be broken. I pray for the health and just the energy level for Hayes to be able to play soccer, to go fishing, to do all the things that he wants to do, to be a great big brother, to continue to be that fighter. And as Jason said, this is the purpose of this, is to get to the point where we can save more lives. And Lord, we know that as you are God, you sent your son Jesus to be the one that can save lives from sin. We lift this event up to you to raise money so that way they can support more of the research that's going on. And I pray for this event that's coming up, that you provide so much support, so much participation, and that would be a blast for them to be able to put on this show and have it be a great success for what they're doing. And in your son's name, God, we pray. Amen. So just to end, they can reach you at truckers4 and the number 4 hope@gmail.com. And then the website for the event, truckers4, again, the number 4 hope.com. And then they can look up Truckers for Hope on all the social media stuff that you had mentioned. And then your phone number again was the 570-660-7281. I got all that correct?
Correct.
All right, great. Jason, thanks for being on today and taking the time to do this. I know with the event coming up here real soon that I'm sure you're up to your eyeballs in logistics every day. So how are things? You feeling stressed or you feeling relaxed?
The more we do this, the more relaxed I get, and then something else stresses me out. But like my phone, it started already. It just doesn't stop ringing. It is what it is. But we just turn and keep going with it. You keep pushing forward. And I'd like to say thank you for letting me be on your show. It was a pleasure, and it was nice meeting both of you.
Great. Yeah, it was wonderful having you on. So their event, the Truckers for Hope 2022, September 23 to 25 at the Clinton County Fairgrounds in Mill Hall, Pennsylvania. Thanks for being on today. And guys, thank you for listening. And that ends it for our show for today.
I hope you enjoyed the show. Let us hear from you. Send email to truckerslife@tncradio.live. Stay tuned.
Don't forget, you can hear all of our TNC Radio primetime shows again on our podcasts. Just go to tncradio.live/podcasts or search for tncradio.live wherever you listen to podcasts.
Do you have the tncradio.live app? It's free and easy to download. Just go to app.tncradio.live, Google Play, or the App Store. Get access to live streaming radio developed by drivers for drivers. Download the tncradio.live app today.